everybody, welcome to the review of round 10 and preview of round 11. It was a round which was to shape the mid-season draft. We saw some massive individual scores this week, in particularly from Ruckman, and the gods, they just keep on winning. So let's have a look at a review of round 10. Alright, so the first game we're going to look at was the highest scoring game of the round. It was Sugar Daddies with a massive score, defeating the bottom of the table, Punters Paddock. The score was 418.5 to 387.5. For the bottom of the ladder, Punters have been doing okay lately. They've been scoring some pretty good scores. And this week they were led by Jeremy Cameron as a half forward with 64. Jordan Dawson was loopholed in. He got 105.5 as a utility. And Callum Walker was a halfback with 53. Sugar Daddies, well, they've moved into the 5, and considering they lost their half forward for 1, they got their biggest score of the season, and they were led by Christian Cherry with 122.5 as utility. Bailey Dale's a halfback got 87, which in 49 possessions got a bit stiff to not get the 50 possessions in that game. And Matt Rowell was a loophole as a tackler with 50. So the optimised lineups, 2 massive scores here with optimised lineups. Punters, they would have moved Jesuit to full forward, and we've got Richards coming in as a half forward, and they would have brought in Laird. As for Sugars, well, Nick Martin got the half forward spot, and Dale would have been in the midfield with Redmond coming to the team as the halfback in that one. All right, so let's go to the second game of the round. And the Gods, they've made it 10 straight wins in a row, and they remain undefeated for the season. They got 399 to 316.5 win over Maltese Falcons, who have now lost 4 games in a row after their good start to the season. Gods, well, they're just rolling along really at the moment, taking all before them. And this week, they were just as consistent as a team, with the 3 best being Rowan Marshall as a ruck, he got 51. Cy Pickett as a full forward got 46. And Chad Warner as a half forward got 50. Falcons, they had a bit of a weekend to forget really. Only a few players holding their head up high. 3 of those players will be in Libba at follow-up with 58. Finn Callahan at utility at 82.5 and got injured right at the end of the game. And Hewitt would come in as a tackler, and he got 38 as a tackler. Was a tackler, didn't come in as a tackler, was a tackler. The optimised lineup still would have seen the Gods get the win. They would have made Marshall's utility, and a miss would have been given the ruck, given how good Marshall's score was. McKercher would have also come in as a tackler. Falcons, forward line would have changed completely. Waterman and Doc Davison, he would have come in. Jackson would have come in as well, and all of his Blues mates would have also got a game in that one. So now, game of the round. And it is the game of the round, and it is the highest scoring top 5 clash. Rangers, they move into 3rd with 403. Defeating Bombers, who got 375 in a game which will give both coaches comfort of how well their teams are scoring. And Rangers being 3rd, it's amazing, really. They're continuing to surprise. Inconsistent scores one week, and then the next week get massive scores. Mind you, remember at the start of the year, their optimised lineup was always over 400. This week, they were led by Jack Steele, got a tackler at 63. Noah Anderson always dominates against the Hawks. I think it's 3 Brownlow votes the last 3 times now they've played each other. And also in Darwin he dominates. He got utility at 107. And Shea Bolton as a half forward got 52. Bombers, they continue their win-loss bit of season they're having at the moment, or lately anyway. Their 3 best players, Adam Cherry was loopholed in at 102. Bonson Pally as a half forward got 46. And Jared Witts as the ruckman got 43 for that one. Optimised lineups, some nice scores for both teams. Rangers would have brought in Saligio. The forgotten sub Taranto, who's been the sub for the last 3 or 4 weeks and not getting looped because Kenny doesn't look his team, let's be honest. And also, what's really surprising, for the first time, Merritt would not have got the game. Bombers, they would have brought in Rochelle and Ashcroft, while Sheezer would have got moved to the tackle spot. Alright, so now the 4th game we're going to look at. Renegades took on the Gators, and the Gators got the win, 397 to 367.5. Renegades drop a spot on the ladder, and while they did score well, they were let down by some of their prominent scorers in this one. Toby Nankervis, awesome in the ruck, got 52. Continues that trend of ruckman this round. Bailey Smith utility got 100.5, so 100.5. And Isaac Rankin as the half forward got 37. For Gators, they end their losing streak, thankfully. And they had some solid performance in the week, led by Brody Grundy in the ruck with 51. Charlie Kerner as a full forward, 41. And Lockie Neal as a midfield with 56. Optimised lineups here, a couple of changes for Renegades. They missed out that massive game by Isaac Heaney. I mean, he kicked, 2 goals, 5, and got 38 possessions in that game. Also, Harley Reid would have gone into the team too. He had one of his better games. Gators, the astronaut would have got the run at the full forward, and a couple other positional changes for them there. Alright, so let's look at the final game now, and it's El Diablos quietly having a good season and remaining second on the ladder. They defeated Seek and Destroy 353 to 300 and a half. This is the second time this season El Diablos have played without a ruck due to a late injury to the Big O. El Diablos, well, they're starting to form a final spot, and they've been 3 games clear at the moment, so they're sitting pretty comfortable in second spot. They're 3 games clear of 6th, should I say. They'll lead this week by Caleb Strong in the midfield with 65. Patrick Cripps as utility got 95, and he was loopholed in. And Hugh McCluggage as a half forward got 41. Seek and Destroy, disappointing week. They only got 300. They did look a bit limp up forward though, especially with Hornet ripping his hammy early. Sinclair as a follower, he was fantastic. He got 74. Gorn as a ruckman, continuing that trend of ruckman this round, as I said, 53. And LDU comes in the midfield with 53 as well. Optimised lineups in this one. Armity and the Armity party will come in for Diablos, as does Briggs in the ruck, and Duggan and Amon. While Seek and Destroy, Neil and Keane would have got a game, and Clark would have got the half forward spot. Sinclair would have been the utility for that one. All right. So now, team of the week. And let's have a look at team of the week. And we reached the 600 mark, over 600, 607 and a half. Jezza would have been the full forward, 73. Kerno half forward, 53. And Marshall would have been the utility, as we said before, that massive score, 127 and a half. Gorn the ruckman, 53. And Heaney and Sinclair in the middle with 77 and 74, respectively. Dale gets a halfback spot with 87. And Jack Steele would be the tackler with 63. The ladder after 10 sees perfection at the top. Gods 10 and zip. Started the second half of the season as well as the start of the first half of the season. They're 3 games clear of El Diablos, who is 1 game clear of Rangers. The other teams in the 5 sees Bombers and Sugar Daddies. They both got 5 wins. After that, there is a number of teams on 4 wins. That includes the Falcons, the Gators, and the Renegades. While Seek and Destroy and Punters have 3 wins and 2 wins respectively. Just quickly, if we have a look at the form ladder, that's the last 3 games. We can tell that the Gods, they've scored 391 a game over the last 3 rounds. Sugar, that showed their form, and that's why they're in the 5. They're averaging 385 in the last 3 games, and Bombers the last 3 games are averaging 382. So they're the 3 best teams performing over the last 3 games so far. So a quick look now, we're going to look at the mid-season draft. We're just going to have a look at the first round of the mid-season draft. Some of these guys surely are set to debut this weekend and improve a lot of their team's score. So this is the first round of the draft. through who everyone picked because that's going to take too long. What I will do though is look at round 11, and this is the last round for the bye start over the next 4 weeks as well, by the way. So let's have a look at this week's games. All eyes are going to be on the top of the table clash. El Diablos, they're in second place. They're playing the league-leading Gods of Olympus. The other games this week, Bombers are playing Punters. Falcons and Renegades meet with the winner to stay in touch with the 5. Gators, they play Seek and Destroy. And the other 2 informed teams are Rangers and Sugars in another top 5 clash for that one as well. So, game 1, El Diablos versus the Gods. Top of the table clash, as we mentioned. A win for the Gods are almost certainly going to secure their second chance in the finals, unless something drastic happens. And Michael probably wishes now that I've put the mods on him, or probably says I've put the mods on him, but I haven't. He can just saying how good he's been this season. El Diablos, well, they want to consolidate second spot. They're a game clear, and as I said, they're 3 games clear of 6. A win here will put them even further closer to that top 2 finish as well. What they've done, well, they've lost new injuries this week, should I say. Any new injuries or any returns. Tom Lynch is out with a concussion. That's the only change there. Possible loopholes. Currently, they've got Amon in as a loophole. He plays a Twilight game Saturday. They do have a few players in that game to have an option from. And also, the early game on Saturday, they have got Toby Green and Patrick Cripps to choose from. And Gods, well, no new injuries there. However, they have got their mid-season draft pick up in O'Driscoll, who is a test. And being a test, actually the only option really as a loophole option is Atkins or Humphreys if he decides to play a loophole, because the only injury they really got is short, and the other option is really for loopholes O'Driscoll Saturday night. That's when all these teams play as well. So he might not choose to go loophole at all this week. Let's have a look at the next game. It's Bombers playing the Punters. Bombers, they could get some separation in the 5 this week with the win. Injury news here is that they've lost McRae till probably after the bye. And McGovern, well, he might be gone for good. He might get told he has to retire. So loop options here, Bont Thursday night, and Manor, who could be a pretty good option for a loophole on Thursday night as well. And they've got some Chera, who plays early Saturday as an option, who I think is in that position at the moment. Punters, they're looking to get off the bottom of the ladder. They've made a few changes in the season draft. And at the moment, for them, Sean Darcy is a test, and he looks like that Punters are going to play Ed Richards on Thursday night as a loophole with that 2 position at the moment, and it does seem like a pretty good option. Third game we're going to look at, Falcons play Renegades. A couple of teams trying to find some consistency here. They're on a slide, Falcons. They've lost 4 in a row, and they've also lost Finn Callahan, who's going to be out for a few weeks as well. Now, with the Blues playing on Saturday and the early game on Saturday, it looks like he has gone away from his Blues players as a loophole, and he's going to go for former Blue players for a loophole in mid-season draft pickup in Matt Kennedy. Renegades, well, they're on a roller coaster ride. They're going from high score to low score each week, or mid-score sort of thing. They did have a scare this week. Bailey Smith did miss training, and who knows, could be allowed out tomorrow night. I doubt it, but he looks set to play. TDK is a current test for them. Currently in their loophole, they have Holmes there, who is a very good option, but they also have a handful of players that are playing Friday night as well if they don't want to go down that track. Fourth game we're going to look at now, Gators play Seek and Destroy. Both teams need to get a move on if they do want to make the finals this season. Gators, they are only a game out, but they've been very inconsistent. Gators, they did have a good win last week. This week, Houston is a test to play for Cork Fire, and that's the only new news for them. They've got currently Ash in the loophole position, but they're thinking of possibly changing it. They've got 6 players playing in that Hawks versus Lion games and a couple Thursday night. Tinker Tom here. Yeah, the Tinkerbell's going to do something. You watch. Seek and Destroy. Well, they've strengthened this season draft. They're actually team average has jumped up by about 20 or 30, I think, with the mid-season draft, and they've got much needed help in the forward line, particularly if Horn French has been silent for up to a month. Lots of loopholes here. Well, Caldwell's in that position now. He's also got a couple of other Essendon players in Langford and Wright to choose from if he chooses. Finally, the 5th game we're going to look at, it's a top 5 clash. It's Sugar Daddies playing Rangers. Both teams are in some good winning form at the moment. Sugar, they stay in the fight with a win, and they've lost Danger as their real only injury news for this week. Loop options are Nick Martin, who's there at the moment, as well as they've got the possibility of Dale, or Tom Stewart has been named for Thursday's game. He's back from injury. They've even got Kako Friday night against the Tigers if you want to go down there. The Rangers, they are on a run at the moment, and they could actually welcome back Winey from concussion protocols. He could be back this week if they choose to play him. They have lost, though, Bolter for 2 weeks because the lights are on and he's not allowed to be outside when the lights are on. Options for Rangers, well, Taranto, he hasn't moved for that spot for a few weeks, so he's in there at the moment. Plays Friday night. And other options, don't worry about it, he's not going to change. Just pick Taranto. If Taranto's a good game for him, bring him in. Anyway, that's all the 5 games for the preview of all 5 games. Have a quick look at the AFL games this week. Thursday night's Cats versus Dogs. Friday is Bombers versus Tigers. 12:35 Saturday is the Blues versus Giants. At 4:15 is the Hawks and the Lions. Saturday night there's 2 games. It's the Roos versus the Pies and Freo versus Port. Sunday the early game is Crows versus the Eagles. D's play the Swans on Sunday, and the last game of the round is the Saints and the Suns. So that's it for the preview and review. Thanks to everyone. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Good luck to all. Says. Ugh.